Welcome, myself Mr. Santosh Lukare from Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas Karmavir Advocate Baburao Ganpatrao Thakre, College of Engineering Nasik. Transfer function of lag compensator. The outline of this session are objectives, outcomes, the transfer function of the compensator with typical pole zero locations, and the derivation for the phase lag electrical network. The references. The objectives of this session are to know the pole zero diagram of the typical lag compensator, to study the transfer function of the lag compensator. At the end of this session, the students are able to draw the pole zero diagram for the lag network and also able to derive the transfer function of the lag compensator by using the first law of physics like KCL or the KVL. In general, the transfer function of the compensating network is given by Gc of S is equal to S plus A upon S plus B. Again, it is a ratio of numerator polynomial and denominator polynomial. If we equate the numerator and denominator polynomial to 0, we have the poles and zeros location of the transfer function for the given network. So if we assume that this A is greater than B, the value of A is greater than B, then the pole zero diagram of the compensating network, it can be drawn as shown in the figure. So figure shows the pole zero plot of lag compensator. Here it is observed that as the value of A is greater than B, the 0 is more away from the origin on the negative real axis of the S plane as compared to the pole which is located at minus B and it is indicated with the red cross. So here it is a pole and 0 location of the given transfer function. It is observed that the pole is more closer to the origin or nearer to the imaginary axis. So as this is a real pole, you can say that it is more closer to the origin, but if it is a complex pole, then you can call it as it will be nearer to the imaginary axis. So both is applicable for. So here it is observed that the 0 is more away from the origin, and as we know that the poles are responsible for stability. So if we have this pole more vicinity of the origin, then the stability is differ than the if we have the same pole more away from the origin on the left hand side. So we can say that here in this case the pole is dominating in the behavior or for the behavior of the given system for the applied input. Alternatively, we can write Gc of S is equal to, by taking A and B common from the numerator and denominator, that is 1 by A times S plus 1 upon 1 by B times S plus 1, or we can say Gc of S is equal to beta times 1 plus St upon 1 plus S beta t. So here beta is the ratio of A by B, and it is observed that if we assume that B is less than A, then the ratio of A by B is always greater than 1. So beta value is always greater than 1, and beta is considered as an amplification factor for the lag network, and the capital T is equal to 1 by A, which is called as a time constant of the network. So such types of compensation network or such types of compensators is called as a phase lag compensator, and by equating the transfer functions numerator and denominator polynomial to 0, we can have the new pole zero diagram in terms of the time constant T and amplification factor beta as shown in the figure. So 0 is indicated with minus 1 upon time constant, and the pole is indicated as minus 1 upon beta times time constant capital T. So this is about the transfer function and the pole zero diagram of the typical phase lag compensating network. Now why this network is called as a phase lag? Again, if we apply the sinusoidal input to the network with the transfer function what we have discussed, and if I vary the frequency from low value to high value, and if we record the phase difference and the magnitude of the input voltage and the output voltage, and if you take its ratio just by plotting the 20 log to the base 10 of V out upon Vin with respect to the frequency, and by measuring the phase difference between the output waveform and the input waveform with respect to the frequency, and if we plot them on the Bode plot, or you can say the semi-log paper, with respect to the frequency omega, then we can have such types of profile in terms of magnitude and phase. So here it is observed that in the initial range of the frequency or lower range of frequency, the magnitude of this system is 20 dB, and after that the magnitude is just rolled down to the 0 dB. So this is just you can say it is a kind of low pass filter, and we can get the maximum phase lag, that is negative phase angle, we can say in this case phi m, at the frequency you can call it as a mid corner frequency, which lies in between the lower corner frequency, that is 0.1 by t, and the upper corner frequency, that is 1 upon capital T. So this capital T is the time constant of the system. So from this from this Bode plot, or you can say from the frequency response plot, it is observed that the phase lag network is the low pass filter, and we can use this phase lag network in order to improve the steady state response of the closed loop system for the applied step input. So here we can say this is about the frequency response of the phase lag network, and as this phase lag network is a low pass filter, this is more susceptible for the low frequency noise. Now let us derive the transfer function of the typical electrical phase lag network. So here we are going to consider the RC network as shown in the figure, where R1 is in series with R2 is in series with capacitor C. The voltage is measured across a branch containing the resistor R2 in series with capacitor C. Vi of S is the input voltage, and Vo of S is just the output voltage measured across the series combination of capacitor C and the resistor R2. So by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law for the given network, we can have the input voltage Vi of S is equal to R1 plus R2 plus 1 by Cs into I of S. So it is just the addition of the impedances of the resistor R1, R2 and the capacitor C, and multiplied by the loop current I of S. This is equation 1. Similarly, the voltage across the series combination of capacitor C and the resistor R2, we can call it as output voltage, which is given by Vo of S is equal to R2 plus 1 by Cs into I of S. So we are having the equation for the input voltage and the output voltage. So by applying the definition of transfer function, that is Laplace of output to the Laplace of input, we have Vo of S upon Vi of S is equal to 1 plus R2 into C into S upon 1 plus R1 plus R2 divided by R2 into C multiplied by S. So this is just obtained by making the base same, and by dividing the equation 2 with equation 1, and by doing certain adjustment, we can represent the equation 3 in terms of the transfer function of the phase lag network, that is the attenuation factor beta is equal to R1 plus R2 divided by R2, and the time constant T is equal to R2 into C. So here we can call this as a phase lag network. Why we can call it as a phase lag network? So just before this slide we have observed the magnitude and phase response of the typical phase lag network. So here if I apply the input voltage with some peak to peak voltage and with some frequency, and that frequency can be varied from the lower value to some higher value, and for those frequency values and for the applied peak to peak voltage, we can record the corresponding output voltage which is also a sinusoidal one under the steady state condition and with certain frequency. So the input and output are having the same frequencies, but there is a phase lag. So output always lags the input with certain frequency at the typical frequency value. So if we vary that frequency from lower value to higher value at a typical point of on frequency axis, we are having the maximum phase lag which is observed between the output voltage waveform and the input voltage waveform. So that kind of profile is just we have discussed before this slide. So this network will provides us such a types of magnitude and phase response, and that's why we are calling it as a phase lag network. So this is a brainstorm question for you. If we are having the values of resistor R1, R2 and the capacitor C as mentioned over here, that is R1, R2 is equal to 100 ohm and the capacitor C is equal to 0.5 farad, then you can calculate the time constant of the phase lag network and the amplification factor beta. Also, if you know the first calculations, that is capital B beta and capital T, you can easily write down the equation in terms of transfer function, and you have to draw the pole zero diagram for the given lag compensator. So these are the few references, and thank you for watching.